Hello all, and welcome to tonight's review. It's a special and a sad review. Rather sad. It's a little bit ironic that I've only just now have been able to catch up with all my downloads on this channel. So, you know, what I reviewed last week is up already, and I'm planning on uploading this either tonight or tomorrow. The irony being is that this is going to be the last review for a while because my landlord sold the place, and him being how he is, I pay very low rent, but he's also the kind of person that will give you like 3 days notice that he is selling the place and that the person is coming literally to, I got on Monday, on Tuesday I got notice, so, on Friday I'm signing papers to sell the place, so, while the people say that they're looking for tenants, I mean, there's no guarantee that they're going to let us stay renting here, or that they'll have anything near the rent that we currently pay. I don't pay very near the market rate. I pay quite a bit below. So I'm almost certain that if we are allowed to stay, it'll be with a very significant raise in my rent. Just as, you know, the fact is, I'm probably going to get furloughed at work. 2020 is turning out to be a great year, isn't it? Anyways, what are we reviewing today? Well, today we are reviewing something very special. This is Suisho 40. It's a Junmai Daiginjo. So the highest grade of sake, Nihonshu. And this is from Chiyo Kotobuki in Yamagata. From Chiyo Kotobuki is the name of the brewery in Yamagata Prefecture in the northern part of Japan. Now, I tried Googling this, and I wasn't able to find much information about it at all in English. I did find the brewery's website in Japanese, but my Japanese has decayed to the point where it's virtually impossible for me to make heads or tails out of anything that is written above an elementary schooler's level. It's kind of sad, really. So, this hasn't really been released in America, so the only English reference I saw to this particular one, and apparently they don't really release all that much of their stuff outside of Japan, as most sake breweries do. Sake is kind of, it's a very big thing within Japan, but not so much outside of Japan. You have it in, there's a few connoisseurs, maybe a handful of stores across the United States and America that specialize in it. Japanese restaurants carry it, but, you know, compared to what's available in Japan and what's available in America, most things don't make it here. Now, interestingly, if you can go and see the back side of the label, it says here, "For sample purposes only, not for sale." And here's also a very strange label. It looks like it was added on later in English. Come on. Of course, it never actually does it when I want it to. Suisho 40, Junmai Daiginjo. So, I believe that this was part of the batch. So, it was part of a tasting contest in America, a sake tasting contest. And so, I believe that a certain amount of bottles were made and taken to the English-speaking world, and I guess also Europe as well, with their own labels and whatnot, to take part in various competitions. Because a lot of, things that win competitions, either in Japan or in America, tend to be the stuff that gets ported over, exported into other nations. This one didn't place in the contest that I saw. And basically, I got this bottle via my mother, who won it in a sort of prize drawing at her place of employment. So I don't know how they got it from there. It might have been from one of the fundraising thing. I know they do a lot of like wine tasting fundraising. So some of the people she works with, have a lot of connections to liquor distributors. So this might have been given, something that didn't go and make a tasting test or a competition or something. you know, and they can't sell it because it's only, you know, it's a sample as opposed to a real release within the United States. So, you know, they can give it as a prize. And this is a Junmai Daiginjo, so it's the highest grade of sake. So even if it didn't win a prize, it's still fairly valuable. That's something like this, if it were distributed in America and sold on the shelf, would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $30 to $50 a bottle. So, without much further ado, let's go and pour this out. So I'm going to be using a wine glass and my Glencairn sniffing glass for this. I have no idea what the notes are going to be at all. Like I said, there's not much available in regards to research here. It's been chilled nicely, as sake should be. And according to Japanese on the back, this is 16% alcohol. So a little bit on the high side for sake, but not Genshu strength by any means. So, it's of course chilled. I haven't done many sake reviews on here, but every 99% of high quality sakes are meant to be served chilled as you would a white wine. Coloration is mostly clear, just the slightest hint of yellow. No sediment, obviously. It's a Daiginjo, so it's been filtered perfectly. Honeydew melon. Juicy pears. Honeysuckle flowers. It's been a long while since I went and had a tasting of sake. Interestingly, Glencairn doesn't seem to do much for holding in the smells of this compared to the wine glass. Strongest note is of honeydew, but there's other elements there. So sweet smelling flowers. Other types of melon, including musk melon underneath. There's a slight hint of musk underneath. All in all, very light, sweet, and delicate odor. Well, let's go ahead and taste it on the palate, shall we? Sweet mouthfeel. Silky, no astringency. In the front, juicy pears, sweet apple, absolutely zero alcohol burn, but great warmth that radiates up from the throat and stomach after it's been swallowed. Not heat, warmth. This warms you up. There's more sweetness apparent on the sides of the tongue rather than in the center. some slight mineral notes in very slight, almost like imperceptible in the mid to finish. Slight bit of bitterness in the mid. It's hard to say it's really bitterness. It's yeah, it's just a slight hint of bitterness, not really much. I can't really put my finger on what to relate it to another flavor, but it appears very quickly there in the mids. If I was going to pair this, I would pair it with shellfish. Say, like grilled scallops. Nothing really with heavy sauce. You want something that, because this is very delicate tasting, anything that's got a heavy flavor would overpower it immediately. Shellfish, sashimi, so basically raw fish. Perhaps squid, again grilled, not in a sauce, not stewed. It would complement it wonderfully. There is exactly 0 bad taste notes to this. It is a pretty good example of a Junmai Daiginjo. In that there are no flaws. It's flawless. I mean, you won't have any flaws in a Junmai Daiginjo in regards to sake. I can see why it didn't perhaps place in the, gain a placement in the contest. The flavors aren't very big compared to the nose. So on the palate, it's a little bit more muted than on the nose. It's very, very fragrant, for lack of a better word, on the nose. On the palate, I wouldn't say it's muted. I wouldn't say it's dull or muted, but it's just not as sharp and clear as it is on the nose. Goes down very easy for 16%, I must say. As it warms up, the sweeter notes, the more honeyed notes are kind of expanding. But not really picking up perceptible taste notes. In regards to like very, I can make a very clear description thereof. So what would I describe this as? Juicy in a delicate way, like a melon or a pear would be. And floral in the way a sweet flower would be. I don't know when I'm going to be back again. And, obviously, because of the nature of this, you're not going to be able to find a bottle. But this was a good thing to kind of end off with. I don't know if I'm going to be making videos on other subjects for a while. It really depends on what happens. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I don't know what the future holds, literally. And Suisho 40. That's what we reviewed tonight. Wonderful sake for a wistful, melancholy time. And I am going to go and listen to some enka music because that really would befit the mood right now. That's your sake review for tonight, folks. Kanpai!